Comic-Con, how's it been so far?
It's been overwhelming. It's huge. I had no idea it was this huge.
First time then?
Oh yeah.
So how did you first get involved in Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, and what did you think when you first heard about it?
It was a project that was around for a while, and a few people had taken a stab at making, and then I found out about it in a really casual way. One of the producers has their kids in our school, and I think I ran into her at the bus stop, and weirdly, I know about zombies and I know about Jane Austen. So.
But you hadn't read the book at the time?
No, but I was really conscious of the cover of the book, which I found really evocative. The Regency era lady with half of her jaw missing, which was something that was an inspiration for me as I approached this.
So how was the adaptation from the book to the movie? Like, what did you, you're trying to keep the essence of it, but what was that process for you?
I'm not trying to keep the essence. I just toss it aside.
Let's keep the title.
My baby now, yeah. Well, the book was just Pride and Prejudice with zombies added on, which was very clever. And also something that he'd figured out, I think, in the book that became apparent to me was that you could take out, in Pride and Prejudice, there's this whole thing about the Napoleonic Wars, which is why you have all these handsome soldiers writing about, but they're never explained. And as an American, you have no idea why they're there. But taking the Napoleonic Wars and then putting in the zombie pandemic, there was a space to put it in. It worked.
So it just kind of blends into the background. It seems like the zombies part was just something that just could have been added, or anything.
Well, no, not in the way I did it, because what my idea was that you set up this alternate world where this pandemic has taken place, and then how has that changed the world we're in? Has it changed the architecture? Has it changed security? Things like that. And then in this alternate world, you stage Pride and Prejudice.
Have you always been a zombie fan?
I'm not a zombie fan. I'm of the idea of zombies. I was a huge Richard Matheson fan and I Am Legend. And then I was working on a piece on Haiti on the Tonton Macoute and saw the actual zombie marches. The idea of them and what they're a metaphor for is interesting to me. You know, the idea that you have these agents of chaos, and that's another reason why this works so well. You have the most repressed society you could possibly have, and then you have these agents of just malicious chaos tossed into it. It's perfect. It's a great setup.
Yeah, people have written all different types of zombies. Like, what kind or what archetype is one of your favorite?
Well, again, Richard Matheson, I Am Legend was important to me because they were, and I guess technically they're sort of vampire zombies, but they're retaining some of who they were when they were alive, and can think, and are more, as opposed to just sort of wandering around waiting to be decapitated. What is it about you that they're like, we're going to put her the 28 days and 28 weeks later, as far as pandemic movies, I found really well done, rough and in a cool way. I like those movies.
Another random question for you. Do you play video games?
Well, video games is a big reason zombies are with us. And one of the reasons they were sort of losing their metaphor in movies. But video games have driven their resurgence. In testing, I think the main thing that teenagers wanted to kill were people, but zombies were a close second, so that's why they're all zombies.
Yeah, there's no deep story when it comes to that. Yeah.
No, it's a little frightening, but it's the world we live in.
Thank you so much for your time. It was great
Absolutely.
meeting you.